I remember a beautiful verse from a saint, Tirunavukkarasar. Just the other day I was quoting this verse in the Yoga Sutra discourse. But how many times I quote that verse? Still I feel I have not expressed the complete meaning of that, complete experience of that verse to people. Very beautiful verse. Tirunavukkarasar, a great saint from South India, Tamil Nadu. Appar, his name was Appar. He was put behind bars. Religious persecution. The king's faith was different and his faith was different. So king thought if he is put behind bars, he may lose faith on his faith because of the psychological torture, and then it will be easy to convert him to the king's faith. But unfortunately, the king did not understand the psychology of the religious persecution. Please understand, when a social, political movements are persecuted, they reduce in the energy and size or die, because their strength is derived from the social related things like a number of people or wealth, things of the outer world. Whenever you receive strength from the outer world objects, any group which is based on the outer world strength, if it is persecuted, it will reduce or die. All social religious movements, social political movements, I can say sometime even social religious movements, not the spiritually based religious movements, the social political movements, social movements or political movements. Whenever they are persecuted, they reduce or die, because their source of energy, inspiration is outer world. Ramakrishna calls it as avidyahankara, ego based on the wealth or number of the people or political, legal, social, economical powers. Those strengths are called avidyahankara. But a spiritual being, an enlightened being, a sage, saint, rishi, or a devotee is established in the energy called Vidyahankara. Means, very beautifully Ramakrishna describes, I belong to Krishna, nothing can happen to me. I belong to Shiva, nothing can happen to me. I have surrendered to cosmos, nothing can be done to me. This is what is called Vidyahankara. Please understand, when you surrender, Patanjali says, Ishvara Pranidhana. When you surrender to the divine, God, Ishvara, ultimate, the surrender brings so much of strength in you, so much of intelligence in you, so much of power in you. Suddenly, even if God does not interfere in your life during the crisis, you don't care. You just relax in surrender, because the surrender itself becomes such a strong ecstasy, such a strong experience. Suddenly, you outlive the need of God for you in your life. Please understand the right word. Suddenly, God is not directly needed in your life. He does not need to perform small miracles in your life. He does not need to remind you that He exists in your life, showing some tricks or magics or some extraordinary. No, you just outlive. and you just outdid God Himself. The very power of the surrender is such you don't need. Even if somebody proves you God is not a reality, you will not be bothered, because the people who work with logic, they go on abusing all our are in some different mood. They are not in reality. I tell you, whether what they believe is reality or not, I don't know. But the energy and experience in which they are established is so strong, they do not care whether God exists or not. The surrender becomes so strong, people do not care whether God is real or false, because the surrender itself is such a wonderful experience. I wanted to share a beautiful experience. When I was in the prison, Ramnagar prison, some other prisoners came to take my blessings. One prisoner touched my feet and said, Swamiji, I am here for doing no mistake. I have not done anything wrong. Just I am here. Bless me, I should get the bail. I said, don't worry, I am also same reason. Don't worry, but I bless you. You will get a bail within a week. And really, he got the bail and went out of prison before me. And he came to take my blessings. When he is about to leave again, I just smiled at him and said, that's great. Then he said, Swamiji, how come I got the bail after you blessed, but you are still here? I said, that is the power of surrender. Understand? Power of your surrender. Just happening. And the power of surrender is so strong, you don't even bother about the God. And he also told me, yes, Swamiji. I asked him, now you are asking me this question. How come I am not out, but you are out by my blessing? Why did you not have this doubt when you asked me? See, when you asked me this boon, that I should get bail, you should have thought, this guy itself is sitting in prison. How can he bless me to get my bail? He said, yes, Swamiji. I did not have that doubt at that time. I said, that is why you got the bail. The power of surrender at that moment, when he asked, was so strong, he did not bother whether I have power or not, he just surrendered. The power of surrender has liberated him. Even though I was in prison. The person who gave the boon was sitting in prison. The person who got the boon has walked out. Because the power of surrender. Understand, I tell you, the power of surrender is such. You don't need to bother about God. The very power of surrender liberates you. Vidyahankara. Let me give you this song by this upper, very beautiful song. The beauty of that Vidyahankara is, even if you don't get the bail, you will not have pain. upper, when he was put in the prison, he sings very beautifully. மாசில் வீணையும் மாலை மதியமும் வீசு தென்றலும் வெங்கிள வேணிலும் மூசு வண்டரை பொய்கையும் போன்றதே ஈசன் எந்தை இணையடி நீழலே. Let me translate. Beautiful, undisturbed music from Veena, an Indian musical instrument, string instrument. Beautiful evening, moonshine, moonlight, and beautiful breeze, and Venil is a romantic season. The beautiful pond in which the bees have drunk too much of honey from the lotus flowers, in that kick, just creating noise, sound, and flying around. At this, see, is describing all these put together, how it feels, just even by my description and remembrance, how it feels, you know. The same way I am feeling because I am at the feet of Shiva. He is singing this sitting in prison. Because of his Vidyahankara, means the power of surrender. Please understand, when he was put behind the bar, Shiva did not come and open the prison and tell, please, oh my devotee, come out. No. Shiva did not interfere and do any miracles. He was completely at ease with himself. And just the power of Vidyahankara, he did not expect God to come and do any miracles. No. But he is completely relaxed and established in the Vidyahankara, the power of surrender. Sometime, as this prisoner who got the bail, divine interferes. Sometime it just relaxes. But in any way, if you are established in avidyahankara, you will continue to suffer. If you are established in vidyahankara, you will be completely relaxed. If you are established in avidyahankara, even if you get the bail and come out, you will be living in mental prison. If you are in vidyahankara, wherever you are radiating enlightenment. When you handle the life with a deep friendliness and compassion, suddenly you will realize the power of being established, being relaxed, being settled. Into the divine, into the cosmic energy, into the cosmos. It is so powerful. I tell you, you will be in a space where nothing can be taken away from you. Nothing can be taken away from you. When I say nothing, I really mean nothing. Nothing can be taken away from you. Look at everything with deep friendliness whenever life presents itself in front of you. Have deep friendliness. When it comes as larger than life, have deep compassion to the situations, persons, happenings. All those situations, persons and happenings will reveal their secrets to you. When you know the whole scene, when you understand the whole scene, when you live the whole scene, suddenly you will feel you are creator. You are God's energy. You are living the ultimate experience. When friendliness is radiated, when you radiate friendliness, nothing called crisis can happen in your life. Because whenever life is presenting itself in front of you, you will not even look at that as a crisis. You will just know it is something happening in your life just to enrich you, add to your being. With Vidyahankara, person established in surrender, no persecution can reduce his size or kill him. Understand? This is the psychology of religious persecution. I was studying the history of religious persecutions last 5,000 years. Who does it? Who gets it? How it happens? What happens after the persecution? I was studying. Please understand, invariably, all the movements, gurus go through the religious persecution, neither reduce in size nor die, they just explode and contribute ultimate to the world. Unfortunately, the people who created this whole conspiracy and tried to persecute us did not study the psychology of religious persecution. They know only political persecution and social persecution, but they entered into the wrong field. Whenever you enter into the wrong field, you always do blunders. The psychology of religious persecution is, the problem is, or I can say, the solution is, the truth is, the religious leaders, the enlightened beings, the sages, saints, gurus, mahatmas, masters, their source of inspiration is surrender to God. Even if you prove to them God does not exist, their source of inspiration cannot be killed. It cannot die. Inexhaustible source. That is why the psychologists, they go on trying to tell the religious leaders as pathetic people. If somebody calls Ramakrishna mad and then me also mad, I have no problem. Great. It's actually praising, because our dictionary is different. Another one big problem with these enlightened beings are, whatever words you use to abuse them, their dictionary is different. As you all be aware, I have now so many titles. The other day I said, the Freedom Discourse, this is my Sahasranama, new Sahasranama. Controversial, self-styled, what not. Sex Swami. And in Kannada, I heard somebody has written a book, Kami Swami. Sometimes title gets added to the name, sometimes name itself is made into part. Instead of Nityananda, Niti. I said, all right, Sahasranamas. Let's enjoy. Because the problem is, their dictionary is different and our dictionary is different. When the dictionaries change, okay, and let's radiate more friendliness and see from their side what for all these things are done. Other day I was sitting with a reporter and having a heart-to-heart talk. I was opening up and answering all his questions. And I asked him, you know, this whole thing is conspiracy and bogus. Why don't you give me the reason why it became so popular? This scandal has become so popular. See, I'm not that big guy. I'm not that popular celebrity. How come this has become so popular? He said, nothing, Swamiji, in the modern day, every one of us have to get at least 5 sensational news every day. Otherwise, we can't be in the job. It is just question of survival, nothing else. So when I heard these stories from many reporters, now many have become my friends and fans also. No, I really developed a lot of friendliness with media. So much of friendly. See, nothing more can be done to you. Then what is there? Let us be at least friendly. You see, if you have a fear, a little bit of abusal is done, and if you are not friendly, they may abuse you more, or you have to have a strategy planning, or you have to have a strategy planning whether to threaten them or be friendly with them. How are we going to handle to avoid further abusal, further damage? All these problems exist only if the damage is little less or very one part. But now the damage is more than 200%. What is there? Leave it. I tell you, when a problem goes more than certain level, it is giving so much of courage and confidence. It's like if you have taken the loan of 5 lakh rupee, you need to have the fear of returning it. And you need to think so much. And if you have taken the loan of 5 crore, the person who gave is supposed to suffer. If it is beyond certain limit, suddenly the responsibility is not there on you. And the abusal has become so much. Now, any strategy planning, all those things, nothing can be done. What is there? Let us be friendly with them. What more can be done? Nothing more can be done. So many of them have become friendly. When I started hearing their stories, I said, oh God, it is really much, much, much better place be a Swami even in the midst of the scandal than in their place. Now really I saw the pressure the pressure in which they are under they are. I saw the pressure they go through every day. Every day they have to get at least 5-10 sensational news. It's a question of survival. And it's not an easy joke. Constantly you need to make things out of nothing. How will you make? No, really it needs a lot of intelligence and creativity. No, you have to bend the words and so much needs to be done. It is not that easy job. No, really when I started working with a lot of friendliness with everybody, whether it is police or legal or media or political leaders, I understand their pressure, how their psyche functions, how their being functions. I tell you, when you radiate friendliness and compassion and non-violence and look at this whole, suddenly you feel everybody is part of you. And you are part of everybody. And I just felt, what is there? In Kalpataru, people come and ask me so many things. Swamiji, bless me for this, bless me for this, bless me for this. Somebody asks for job, somebody asks for this, somebody asks for that. So sometimes some media people also ask for, let us have a TRP rate because of you. I tell them, all right, have it, that's all. Just like people ask so many things in the Kalpataru, and I say, all right, let you have it. I'll pray for you, I'll meditate for you, you will have it. Same way I felt, okay, they're asking, let's make some sensational news out of you and have higher TRP rate or more readership. I tell, all right, have it, what is there? Suddenly, the friendliness and non-violence and compassion changes the whole thing. And I tell you, really I tell you, it does miracles in your being. It does miracles in your being. With compassion, with non-violence, not only you feel that you are part of them, everybody is part of you, it just gives you a different power, different way to look at the things, different way to feel the things, different way to live the things. You will be in heaven wherever you are. Life will not be a crisis. Life will be bliss, joyful explosion. Whenever larger than life things happen in your life, when the happening is happening, I am giving you the gist. If you are resisting, you will be shrinking and falling into depression. If you are tolerating, you will be having different entertainments inside the hell. If you are accepting, you will be peaceful and out of the hell. If you are radiating friendliness towards it, compassionate, you will be having bliss and enlightenment every moment. And it is such a joy and ecstasy to be established in love and compassion, non-violence, not even having a secret plans inside your heart to take revenge on anybody. It is such a freedom, I tell you. I can tell you, the other day many man organizing. Bhaktananda was staying with me, you will ask, Swamiji, what are you doing? Whole day sitting and so seriously doing. Because I will be doing all kinds of that mudras and yoga and pranayama and meditate and consciously scan on everything. How it works and what happens to the system. I said, I'm working on creating all these things so that the moment we are out, we will start some meditation course and start sharing these techniques to the world. I told him, even if society puts me in prison, tries to bind me, I'll continuously try to liberate them. I tell you, oh society, even if you put me in prison, I will liberate you. I'll work for your liberation. The essence. I can use any number of words, stories, jokes, but the essence is whenever life happens in front of you, larger than you are accustomed, habituated. Deal it with deep love, friendliness, and compassion. Persons, situations, place, everything related to that happening, handle it with lot of friendliness, lot of love, lot of compassion. I tell you, not only you will successfully come out of the crisis, by the time you come out of the crisis, it will not even be a crisis. By the time you are out of that happening, you will become life itself. You will become cosmos itself. You will just radiate godliness. Whoever radiates godliness is God. You will be radiating cosmos. You will be cosmos. You will be radiating life. So I tell you, live with deep friendliness and compassion. You will be radiating enlightenment. Compassion is ripened enlightenment. So, let you all radiate compassion. Live in ahimsa, non-violence. Do not be taken away by the cyclone of sensationalism. Because if you are violent towards others, you will be naturally violent towards you. You will not be strong enough. You will be just taken away by the sensationalism. If you are non-violent towards others, compassionate towards others, you will be so strong. Your system will be so strong, you will not be taken away by the cyclone of sensationalism. Live and radiate enlightenment. The Ahalya story says, Rama came and touched her, blessed her. She became again back to the original state with joy and bliss. Means nothing. Rama came and taught her how to live with compassion, with friendliness, how to trust again the life back, how to handle the scandal. I know what Ahalya would have gone through. Because those days you don't need video, CD, TV, anything. All rishis have their own telepathy system. They would have just seen what happened. And naturally, she can't show her face to anybody. She has to hide. And her trust is lost on the life. Losing the trust on the life is just almost like cutting your hands and legs. You are just cutting yourself and shrinking. Ahalya suffered that. But when Rama came and taught her, no, open up. Friendliness is life. Trust even if you are exploited. Because the trust by its very strength makes you live like a god. So she learnt how to trust. From resistance and shrinking, she moved to the friendliness and compassion. That is what is exactly the true meaning of the Ahalya Vimochana, Ahalya Saba Vimochana, the true meaning of the whole story. So let you all understand the friendliness, love and compassion and way to handle the life happening and never again fall into the hell of Ahalya state. Come back to the original, the Rishipatni Ahalya state. Get back to radiating enlightenment. I give this as my humble suggestion to all our devotees, disciples around the world. Do not cherish enmity, vengeance towards anybody, and just go on radiating friendliness, joy, and go on supporting people. If you have seen somebody has suffered, support them, stand by them, go on supporting people. Let us make this as our goal. Let us create more and more and more enlightened beings. Let us radiate enlightenment. Do not disrespect. Do not abuse anybody. Sometimes people who have to talk some wrong words about Sangha or me, they may be pressurized by the society. See, sometimes if they also don't use some negative words, they will be abused. So, whenever a brand value comes down, people have to distance themselves. It's a usual thing in the society. So, handle even those things with a lot of love and compassion. Do not disrespect them, abuse them. Give them friendliness, stand by them, support them. Whatever way you can. Just do not be taken away by the scandal, that's all. Just you do not be shaken. Just take care that you are not shaken, that's all. You are not disturbed. You don't take their poison, but you go on giving your nectar to them. Go on giving nectar. Let us put all our energy into positive work and creating more and more and more enlightened beings. Let us not react negatively. Any reaction negatively will only become yama for us. So any reaction with deep friendliness will become Shiva for us. Causeless, auspicious for us. So let's all recover and support people. Stand with everybody, support everybody, and do good to everybody. And I send all my prayers, love, and blessings to all of you and to all the devotees around the world who handle this whole scandal non-violently and not taken away by the cyclone of sensationalism. So, my prayers and blessings be with you all. Let us all continue to radiate enlightenment. I do understand the persecution you all went through. I really deeply felt hurt for the persecution you all went through, for the suffering you all have been given by so many people in so many ways. But now it is time. Let us start healing others. Healing others is the best way to heal yourself. Let us start healing others. Let us all stand up and start healing others in our life. So, I request all of you to continue to heal the world with your actions and thinking and words. Essence of today's message is radiate compassion and non-violence. Compassion is ripened enlightenment. Let you all be established in compassion and love. Let you all achieve and radiate enlightenment. Let you all achieve, live, and radiate the eternal bliss. Nityananda. Thank you.